Like if
Yeah.
people only knew,
Yeah, I'll have to interview you. Yeah,
but just
that's for
that
sure.
that that one initial intention of wanting to
Hmm.
be around like-minded people had such a ripple effect in my life. Can you just share how an intention that you made or a seed that you've planted in the past that has blown up into something fruitful in your present?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I'll just start by saying how hyper individualistic our society is, and how I think we've lost so much community.
Hmm.
Um, and I won't get into this now, but I spent some time alone in nature recently, and I never had that much appreciation for humans when I came back to meet them after I was out in nature, and I realized that there are things that I can't control, and
Mm.
so we like to think we can control everything, and it seems like I'm not answering your question, but I I sort of am, in that um, you think you're all in control of your life, but then you put yourself out by yourself in nature, and then you have an experience of life, but you're also, in a way, you can't help your craving for social contact,
Hmm.
and that's something that you cannot control. It's beyond you, and it's something that's you know I, we've evolved to really need. If you were to put somebody in solitary confinement, well, they're not going to be okay. They're not, and so you need community. You need people. Like we've been talking about, how relationships reflect things about you, and they hold a mirror to you. And so I think when you're really in the presence of somebody else, you feel seen. You see them, and there's some sort of that in that reflection. There's some sort of obviously there's tremendous positive emotions if you're around the kinds of people that you want to be around, but it feeds you, and it's something that we need, and it's very important. We don't have a lot of that, and I can tell you that if I hadn't had that community in the men's group, and selfishly I did put that together for me because I needed it, and it turned out to be very beneficial for others. But yeah, there's just no way I would be the same guy that I am today, and that's necessary, as Dr. Glover talks about. He says you can't go at this alone. It's not like he's the only one who says this, but
Hmm.
in your path to recovery and whatever it is that you're dealing with, I mean, let's just call it life, you need to be around people, and I think we've lost a lot of that. And so, like I told you, I have a dear friend of mine, um, he who I met in some very interesting way, actually, in being very social and putting myself out there. But he's become somewhat of a mentor to me in unexpected ways, and I think I have friends of varying ages, people who are younger than me, people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s. I know someone who's 80, who's a dear friend of mine, who's a yeah, dear mentor of mine. And why is it that I have all these people in my life? And I think it's because, well, we've lost touch with community and being in the tribe,
Hmm.
and I think when we were in the tribe, there were just you were just useful in these different ways, and there were elders and babies and people of all sorts of ages, and you would interact with them on a regular basis, and you would be known and integrated in the community. And well, we don't have that. We spend a lot of time on our
Yeah.
own. We're hyper individualistic. We want to make things work on our own. We all want to just be on our computers and start our company, and become rich, and then make it to the Forbes
Which still
magazine. Or
requires people to.
it's still, and it's funny, it still requires people. And somebody told me a long time ago, I'm not quoting this, I did not come up with this, but she said, don't personalize your successes or failures. And I realized, yeah, you in whatever successes I've had in my life, I can't personalize them. It wasn't just me who did it, even though it may seem like it was just me. Well, I was just living my life, doing my own thing. Well, absolutely not. We're really interconnected. It seems like we're not, but we are. And so all this to say, I think we've just lost a deep element of community, and And yeah, and that's why I think that's what started the idea for the men's group, because I was just extremely isolated before that, and very secretive, and kept things hidden inside and in my head. And um, so anyway, I mean, I have a lot more to say on the topic, but I'm just rambling on here. But just to say that I think that at some point of the past, we were part of a tribe, and we were just useful in unexpected
Hmm.
ways. Some, if you were a you had great dexterity and good workmanship skills, like you were just very good with building things. Well, somebody in the community would notice, and they would say, "Why don't you come and help me build this boat?" And then you would feel this positive emotion from having
Contribute,
contributed,
yeah.
and you would feel satisfaction. And I think now we have a bit of a purpose crisis where people aren't sure what to do with their lives, and it's like, well, what's my purpose? Well, we have a lot of talents, but we're just not in a community, and we're not able to share these parts of us, of ourselves. And I just think that's a big missing component, and a big part on why a big reason why I think it's important for, if you're moving into a new city, or even in your own city, if you don't have um, a group of guy friends, or just a group of friends that you can confide in, it's just a very necessary thing to have. And yeah, I just think we're missing a lot of that. That's all. And it seems to be replaced by social
Social
media and
media.
all
But
that crap, and which is just a slice of reality. And I just remember meeting you in Toronto and unexpectedly hanging out with you for like
yeah.
6 hours, and it was just like amazing to just sit down and reconnect.
And the funny thing is,
And
I always get in trouble with my girlfriend because I put my phone upside down, do not disturb, and I'm like, time doesn't exist.
yeah, yeah.